All right, the button got pushed.
Honestly, sweet. I was just gonna say that I'm really smug that I predicted that Beastie was gonna bring the Avengers news, so I didn't even look twice at it.
Oh,
I was like, there's Avengers news, and I went, Beastie will talk about it, and I ignored
got
it.
it. Yeah. Oh, good. Also, the date's wrong. The whole title's wrong.
Oh yeah, yep. The whole title's wrong. Yep, sure is. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Captain.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
You all should have edit mod privileges.
I don't know how to do it.
Sir,
I don't know how to Twitch.
I am old and I don't know how to Twitch. Come on, man.
Yeah, you do.
Have
It's just when
mercy.
your back turns the wrong way. Shut the fuck up.
Stop! That was so aggressive. That was so aggressive.
That was
funny.
cold. Yeah.
Yo! Ooh!
I'm coming for your
Oh.
fucking ankles. Stop.
Oh man.
God. He said, and your spinal too. Fuck.
Man.
Oh, shit. Ooh.
Please.
Fuck me. That's so funny. Oh, fuck. All right. I got water. Yeah, I got water.
Spontaneously figure out how to use Twitch. Yes.
Let's spell the word addition right. If I'm gonna make this joke, let's do it once.
Are you editing it?
Yeah,
I
I'm
will
doing it
stop.
right now.
And I will stop what I was doing.
Please.
Hands are off. I can no longer affect the title.
I did it.
I hate that.
And guess what? We hit our follow goal.
Oh, that's fucking wonderful.
Nice.
Hey.
Lovely.
All right.
Yep.
So now,
Yes, that's correct.
what do we present for this goal now?
I think it was just.
TVA.
I think it was just.
TVA.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
It was a goal. We've reached the goal.
Right.
We should be proud of ourselves.
All
yeah,
right.
no, honestly.
Let's start this in 3, 2, 1.
And welcome to our live discussion, the Itty Bitty Nerdy Committee. I'm Beastie Boy.
I'm Table.
I'm Red.
And it is I, Shino Brando.
And we'll be discussing recent news from across the multiverse live from video games, anime, comics, and more. And stick around after the news to hear us discuss a newly released comic of the week.
Alrighty, folks and captains. This week I bring to you 2 pieces of casting news from across the DC universe. First and foremost, at Netflix, we have the adaptation of the DC Vertigo-esque comic, Sweet Tooth.
Interesting.
This was given a series order from Netflix and will be done by Robert Downey Jr.'s team. Cast members...
Question.
Yeah. The cast members include Christian Convery. He's from Beautiful Boy and Tiger Rising. Nonzo Azoy from Artemis Fowl and Game of Thrones. Adil Akhtar, Victoria and Abdul and The Big Sick. That's where he's from. Will Forte, Last Man on Earth and Saturday Night Live. And finally, James Brolin from Amity Horror and Westworld. Is that anybody know if that's any relation to the Josh Brolin?
No idea, honestly. I was going to ask you the same thing.
Unknown. So, Sweet Tooth is based off Jeff Lemire's Vertigo series of the same name, which ran from 2009 to 2013. It focuses on Gus, who lives in a world ravaged by an absolute apocalypse. He joins forces with a family of hybrids and humans to find the answers behind the apocalypse. This was not a series I ever saw coming to Netflix, mostly because DC's got their own shebang going on. However, I'm just kind of glad that Robert Downey Jr. is going to be doing work with all his kabillion dollars that he made at Disney. And also, like, weird properties like this have the opportunity to get their chance on the big screen. Because, like, why not? If it's good, why The Last Man is getting a adaptation for Netflix, and that's a bonkers series.
I mean,
I'm really excited.
It's-
Based on the covers, I'm really excited for this show.
it's certainly good to see, stuff outside of just straight Marvel and DC getting properly put on screen. But I am a little bit confused and concerned about why they would choose this, because I really don't like the look of that little deer boy.
Probably
I
because,
really do want to hit him with an axe.
Probably.
He just looks lumberjackable.
Yeah. A little bit. Don't hit that small boy with an axe. He's a kid.
No, people like weird. A lot of TV shows have proven that, so this is gonna fit right in, especially on Netflix.
It's true. It's true. It's true. In other casting news from the DC world, we have the official cast for the CW's Naomi. So, to explain about who Naomi is based on the character that Brian Michael Bendis, creator of such characters as Miles Morales, in her adventures across a little bit of a multiverse. And so, to head this series, Casey Wallfall from Army Wives and Power will be starring as the titular Naomi. Some other casts include Alexander Wraith from Orange is the New Black and Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Cranston Johnson from Filthy Rich and P-Valley. And newcomer to acting as a whole, Camila Morano. These are the series regulars anyway. This series will follow Naomi's journey from her small town to the absolute heights of the universe, when a supernatural event shakes her hometown to the core. Naomi sets out to uncover its origins, and she will discover, and the series will move on from there. This is done by Ava DuVernay, who, on a side note, is also doing the New Gods movie adaptation thing that's over at DC. And we've yet to hear a hide nor hair of that for a little while.
I got a bit of news for that later.
Oh boy. Okay. But yeah, Naomi's one of those characters that was spun out of Brian Michael Bendis' Wonderverse or Wonder Comics. Just like the last adaptation of Young Justice and the Wonder Twins. So by our powers combined, we take the form of, a bucket of water and a monkey.
Gotcha.
The day those three get to be on screen, and it's my day in the sun is what it is.
I don't know about you, but aquatic monkey is definitely my chosen combat form.
Fact.
Damn.
But I'm excited to see a character that's not related to Batman or Superman in any way come to the CW.
I like the idea because strong premise, strong female black lead. Little squinty eyed, as Table says, because CW.
Diverse cast though, but like
Sure looks to be, but it's not like the CW had a problem with a diverse cast anyway.
Never.
No, of course, yeah.
They've done a really good job at representation across the board completely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, representation with the CW is good. It's just everything else that you got to watch out for.
Fair enough.
I mean, with Naomi, I think I'm a little bit optimistic that it won't be too demanding in the effects department, which is where CW shows can really make or break themselves.
Mhm.
So hopefully it'll look good, even if, the writing suffers from I'm a CW show syndrome.
Yeah, that's what I squinty eye at.
Yeah.
Also, Naomi, LGBTQIA.
Right on.
That's a bisexual character canonically in her series. Yeah,
Love to see it.
one of the shop owners that she interacts with, their daughter, they become a couple.
There it is.
We support it.
Dope.
Thank you.
Fit to print. Here we are. These two series have me really interested in what's coming to TV and movies, because if we can expand into like Naomi and Sweet Tooth, what else is on the table?
Well, there's many things.
Now that we've taken a firm step away from the Superman and the Batmans of the world,
Yeah.
sign me up. What's next? Here we go.
Fingers crossed, Cadillacs and dinosaurs. Come on.
One day, I promise you,
I
it
think
is
you'll
not
still
that
be
far.
waiting a little while.
Yeah, not this year for sure, but never say never.
Yeah, that's right.
Bieber?
Stop this.
No, Adam Sandberg's never not saying ever.
That's
That one can slide.
Speaking of which, Shino.
oh,
Adam
my turn.
Sandberg?
Yeah, I don't know. Have you guys heard of Kingsley Ben-Adir? He was in
Very little.
Very little. He was in the movie One Night in Miami. Playing Malcolm
Yep.
X, right, amongst his other peers.
Still need to watch it. Damn.
Yeah, you need to
Little
watch that. It's a
concerned
very
with the
good movie.
accents.
Yeah, Regina King is a directorial goddess.
Mhm.
She did a really fantastic job on this. A really strong biopic. So do definitely check it out.
Mhm.
Mr. Adir over here has joined Marvel, and he'll be starring in the Secret Invasion. So
Yes, I heard about this.
Oh, word on character or anything?
yeah.
The Secret Invasion begins, my friend. Phase 4 is fully in roll. Okay, we're moving, so these shows are starting to get pop up, right? So, all the non-supernatural characters will be probably involved in the Secret Invasion. You catch my drift. So, we don't know how far of a capacity yet, but more news will develop as we go along, right?
That Secret
That's
Invasion
really-
series, I am super excited for,
Yeah.
because now that post WandaVision, if you want to hear our thoughts on WandaVision, our latest video that went up today is our, sorting through the good, the bad, and the ugly of the Wanda. And the post-credit scene from there is very much okay. So
Mhm.
they are amongst us already. They never left.
They're here.
I'm excited.
But yeah.
Set me more up.
I mean-
I'm in.
More of these things develop, the better, right? I'm not even sure how much of a stretch Phase 4 is going into it, because like Rhodey's going to be handling the armor wars. There's a lot of different things happening here.
We have another character that's going to come to Armor Wars.
Who's that?
We can assume that White Vision is going to make an appearance,
There you go.
being
Hey.
Tony Stark related tech for sure.
For sure. There's many things happening, man. So we'll see how far really goes down, right? They're dealing with supernatural space and other things at the same time. It's kind of crazy times.
They're truly getting into the real comics meat of it.
But yeah.
The meats and potatoes.
The kerfuckery, if you will.
Yeah. Speaking of kerfuckery,
Oh no.
yeah. So you three know I really like Cowboy Bebop.
Yep, Cowboy Bebop, yes sir.
Oh my god.
Cowboys.
Right.
Scat?
Yeah, right. Cowboy jazz. I
Hey,
love I love this anime a whole lot. So much so that it's one of those that stayed in my my top fives. And I don't know, Netflix has finished filming season 1 of the live action series. So that's due out in sometime this year, and I'm not sure how I feel, but I mean they've wrapped up, so it's on its way, and we can judge it pretty soon, as we do all things that come our way. So, all in time. When a date pops up, I'll let you guys know.
Well,
I
I will
expect
join
this
you on that
to be. I expect this very much to be like the Arnold Schwarzenegger TV show that Table was supposed to watch.
Look, I actually looked it up, and it's not available in Canada, and I didn't care enough to steal it. I'm sorry.
You know what? I have means to this, so if you pass me that title one more time, I will look into it for you.
Oh God, okay.
More of my point was that after episode 1 comes out, you'll give us like the mini review version of what you think of it.
Oh yeah, you yeah, you definitely know I will.
Because if Netflix adaptations are to be trusted, which they should not be because they fucked Death Note in the ass,
Oh yeah, they did.
this is sus of the highest accord.
Have only one okay like nug in the entire pile of crap. They out of their anime adaptations, and I stand by this. I stand on this hill. Die on this hill, but it was Bleach. It was the only one that was actually substantially any good for everything else that they ever pushed out.
Ironically, that's the only one people had mentioned that was actually pretty decent.
The only one. So you know, 1 out of like 6, whatever. I don't know how many they put out there. Like there's Full Metal Alchemist and there's Death Note. So I don't know, but like, man, I hope this turns out well, man.
Yeah, I'll probably just join you in that review of seeing how it goes. But obviously, like you'll have to hire because I've seen this recently and caught everything about that season.
But to say you've just watched it recently, so I mean it's fresh in your mind too. So yeah, for sure.
See how this goes. See what they do with it.
Hopefully it's something good. Boy, bring you more poor news. Y'all like Star Wars, don't we?
Yeah, we like a Star Wars or two, yeah.
We like a war in space among the stars.
Remember the holiday special we covered?
Unfortunately, it happens to live rent-free or something.
I get flashbacks every now and then.
You should someone drop a link in there and in that chat and share that, please, because
I'm getting a night terror already thinking about it. But all right.
Yeah. Okay. So I have tremors too, night tremors, right? Like, so I remember I talked some shit because I told you guys that there was a couple of Ewok films that are kind of hard to find, and if we ever found them, we'll watch them. You know, if we all watch the video and give us like 20 likes or so, you know what I mean? We'll dive into these things and watch them if we can find them. Well, I said they were hard to find, and Disney said no, they're not. Now they're available to you. So, The Caravan of Courage, an Ewok adventure, Ewoks, The Battle for Endor, and the story of the faithful Wookiee will be released on Disney Plus April 2nd, 2021. Not too far away from here. None of us are excited. If you watch that clip, if you watch our video and you give us 20 likes, we're going to have to watch those for you. Please.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
When you say the faithful Wookiee, are we talking like religiously faithful? Does he continue to have hope? Does he refuse to cheat on his wife? Like,
so to actually bring in the loop, so in regards to our holiday special that we covered, remember the segment where the ugly Wookiee child's watching that cartoon of Boba Fett?
Of course.
It
was one of the best parts of the show.
Oh, that's the story of the faithful Wookiee.
Oh, fuck.
Oh.
So we're getting that dropped into the Star Wars library, but they will not release the rest of the holiday special, and I can't figure out why.
Like, it's already there. Like,
that's
and it is canon, unfortunately. I mean, fortunately,
it is. It is really, really canon. It's the first appearance of Boba Fett.
Well, to give you some idea, like context on what these adventures are, the Caravan of Courage covers about a pair of siblings who are separated from their parents, and the Ewoks help them. Yes. And the next one is the Battle for Endor, where it's Ewoks and a random rebel kid. This is some space sorcerer guy thing. You gotta watch it for yourself. You just gotta see it for yourself.
Space sorcerer? Yeah. Wizards in my space?
Even more so than Jedi, just even weirder space wizards.
How?
Oh no.
That is something.
And these ones aren't even fucking human. But look, there's more coming out. They're also releasing the Ewoks cartoon, the animated series, and the Star Wars droids, the old animated series, before they present the new one about R2 and C3POs and their random adventures across the galaxy, because someone asked for that and we're getting it.
I don't know who asked for that. I don't know who wished that into existence, but they need to be smited.
Yeah, smited hard.
They can
but the
trade
last
their
good
existence
piece of
for this existence.
but the last piece of good news out of that is that they're also releasing 2003's Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the animated series from Gendy Tartakovsky, the same dude who gave you Samurai Jack, Powerpuff Girls, and Dexter's Lab, amongst other things that he produced over the years.
Dude, 2003 Clone Wars slaps hard.
And they're bringing that back. So now you have you're getting a thicker story of the Star Wars universe, right? We're giving you all the little bits and pieces that you kind of wanted to connect and own over the years, and now you can actually have it in one whole go.
The Star Wars extended universe, as per se.
Yeah, as
Wait,
they say, right?
Have you guys seen the 2003 Clone Wars General Grievous to Rasputin
Yes.
Oh, when he
video?
What?
I will throw it in.
Yeah,
I will throw it in our chat.
That's
he
the title,
fucks a
but
whole-
I.
Yo, dude, he fucks a whole clan of Jedi up, and like,
It's
Wow.
fucking great. I gotta just make sure
Yeah.
I found the right one.
That is wild, but I.
yeah, that is all my news. None of it all good. I'm so sorry, but someone had to break the news to you. Ewoks are among us.
Oh man.
Yeah. And the last bit of news here, just a couple of reminders. Falcon and Winter Soldier comes out tomorrow, midnight tonight, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you haven't watched it already today, because I already have, the Snyder Cut of Justice League is out. I gave it the 4-hour sit down. And you know what?
Brave soul.
Braver than I.
Man, I wasn't going in expecting too much because trailers lie.
For sure.
But
In
right?
fact,
And-
there's a lie in this trailer.
yeah. Among Zack Snyder's history with filming, some people slam it, some people love it. Some people say it's slow paced. I believe we said the same thing about Man of Steel. This film doesn't really suffer that too much. In fact, the amount of context you get in between everything makes it a lot better of a watch. And fuck, is it ever so superior to the beginning cut? Jesus, man, you got to witness it for yourself. I can't believe. I don't want to puff it up and say it's that great because people will be judgy. But I mean, the only thing I can say is it wasn't shitty, and it was far better than what we got. It was actually the film we fucking deserved.
I mean,
Sitting at 4 hours though is kind of a stretch, but I mean that was supposed to be split into 2 movies to begin with, anyways. So,
and then it was going to be a 4-part series for a little while.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
to circle back to what I talked about, that there's a lie in the promotion for Zack Snyder's Justice League. Allegedly, the Joker, played by Jared Leto, in the movie does not say we live in a society. That was a trailer exclusive shot.
Good.
I
Strictly meant to blow up the internet.
I think so. I mean, it's not. I can't remember honestly. I do know he had a pretty good chunk of monologue that he gave. That scene's a lot of fun to watch as well. The whole thing gives you a full circle experience, man. Have you guys seen Justice League Apocalypse War?
Yes.
Maybe it's been a while, but maybe.
Okay, it gives you a bit of that sensation.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Okay.
especially coming to the climax of the film, it gives you that same sense of like gravity, that sense of like that whole scenario of Steppenwolf in Justice League, the Whedon cut. It doesn't even hold a candle to sense of like dread that we had near this end here. It was for real in this movie. It was. I don't want to spoil it, but man, it was last minute saves, and they needed to happen. And if it didn't happen, we're all fucked.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man.
I love the sound of all of this, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch it this weekend, and stay tuned on the channel, because somewhere along these lines, there have now been 2 DC movies that came out, And that means they've got to find our way to our NC on DC spectacular that we did.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
my god.
I warn you right now, that's a 4-hour movie. That's an episode to itself.
That's it. I just want you guys to know when you're going into the film, just prepare yourself for context. That's the most important thing in this whole film. Once you get the bits and pieces of everything in between, everything else will feel like a more cohesive story to you.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I imagine with 4 hours, this fucking movie takes its time to breathe every single breath.
And hey, listen, man, the epilogue alone is 30 minutes.
There's
Jesus.
Okay, well,
I have
now
mild
it's- and-
concerns, but
And
okay.
I want to let you know it's not 4 parts, it's 6 parts within a 4-hour span with an epilogue.
but they're broken up, right? There's
Yeah, and it breaks down which parts what, because it gives you a screen and the title header, parts whatever in the title.
As
Then you have
a
it-
good director would do, but okay.
Yeah, and then you have epilogue, which literally the last half hour is an epilogue, the whole fucking thing. And it ties some things together and it leads to other things, especially little I want to say this, like it's not like little after credit stuff. It's all little in betweeners in the epilogue, but some big things that they were trying to lead to. And you made mention of the new gods, and they talk about the new gods and old gods in this film a whole lot.
Say
And,
more.
and DC and WB still has plans to use Darkseid, and there still is plans for the New Gods movie, so he's not going anywhere.
so
You will
for,
Okay.
for
see him
2
again.
seconds about the New God movie. Not only is it being like executive produced by Ava DuVernay, who's doing every other CW thing, but also the script is coming from Tom King.
there you see, so there's
Like
I'm telling you, man, he's
Batman,
cooking.
Yeah. Batman writer that people are either really negative about or really positive about. Writer of the Vision and Mr. Miracle series, the absolutely celebrated series that both those are.
Oh, and by the way, somehow, some way, Zack Snyder did an amazing job so much with the Amazonians and Wonder Woman that she was far more enjoyable in this film than she was in her own sequel.
I mean,
Holy
Wonder
shit.
Woman 84 had a lot of issues, so I'm not horribly surprised, but like I am looking respectfully.
Oh, trust me, they feed into her a whole lot. She's as integral in this whole thing, man. Like it's oh man, just go see it for yourself. You gotta.
All right.
Well, with that glowing review, I snuck a little thing onto your frame here.
I see Loki.
Yeah, so we have a title card thing for Loki coming out July 11th. That series I'm real excited for, mostly because that's 2012 Full Mischief Loki, and we like him.
And they plan to use him more with the magic thing. So, never know, he could cross roads with another 2, witch and a sorcerer as well.
That is 100% an option.
Oh,
But
because
we got an
remember,
official release date, and you can count on all these Marvel shows showing up in some way, shape, or form, either here, twitch.tv/Nerd Crusade, or on YouTube by searching Nerd Crusade. You can find us. We're going to be talking about all of that.
All right, y'all.
Yeah,
That's
just
me this
say.
week. 77% on Rotten Tomatoes, 97% audience score. Check it out.
God damn.
But for real, I rewatched the first Thor movie very recently for stupid reasons. Thor and Loki really both look really bad in that movie, actually. Loki looks like a greasy rat, and Thor bleached his beard. Anyway, we see what you got.
A little bit out of order, but what I got is a new Life is Strange game.
Oh,
So, yes. So it was kind of hinted at, I believe, the other day or 2 days ago that a new Life is Strange game was coming out, but we didn't know what like the specific details. Now we have an official trailer that dropped just earlier today by Square Enix, and also you can check IGN if you want to. That is called Life is Strange: True Colors. It is the 3rd installment into the game series, and it's being, I think, produced or made by company Deck Nine Games. So these guys are basically handling the animations, all this stuff, and the animations in this game compared to 1 and 2, which I haven't played 2 fully or at all actually, looks actually pretty well done, and the story is really compelling. You face this new character that's being added into the story, or this third installment, is named Alex Chen, who basically comes into this like little town or city, reuniting with her long lost brother of 8 years. So it's an interesting thing. And for this one, usually the Life is Strange series, someone in the story has a certain power or some sort of connection of like, abilities. She has the abilities of I think empathy, telekinesis, or I don't know how it was like explained exactly, but it's like empathy heightened and all that stuff. So if per se she feels certain emotion of someone, if she's able to feel it, like, then it can be heightened and it can afflict her as well, or as well too in aspect of she can deep dive search why this person is feeling said emotion. And it's, I don't know, the trailer is pretty interesting, story is pretty interesting of what they've shown, and I'm kind of excited to see what they do with it. But yeah, also Life is Strange, the first one, is getting a remaster. It will come as either a standalone, or you can get it as part of the Life is Strange True Colors Ultimate Edition, I believe. So those both will be coming out in, I believe, September. Not sure of date, but I believe it was around September 10th or 11th, around those times. So if you're a Life is Strange fan, go ahead, look at those pre-orders, get those games, and have a good, sweet time with these stories.
Dope.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we go to animated or some more video game news?
More video game news. So
10 for Captain. Here you are.
Mm-hmm.
Beep boop video games.
Beep boop, beep boop. So, I'm not a big fan of like the Avengers game just because of how I've heard different reviews, but other people are big fans and very much enjoy this video game so far. So if you're not aware, there is a new DLC coming out called Black Panther: War for Wakanda. It's going to be another expansion, following some other DLCs, just like on this map. And this roadmap actually was dropped just early today by the Marvel Avengers team, showing what DLC will be coming out later this year. So we have the ones for Hawkeye, which we already know for March, and then some other ones regarding to Iron Man, the Cosmic Cube, and then as well as, like I said, the War for Wakanda. Other stuff you can look up and see what's happening, but there's some additional features and on other stuff that they're working on. So this game is doing better than, some other ones, Anthem, but
They're pumping money into it at the very least.
They're still getting fans liking it, so it's doing something.
It's continuing existing, but that's not saying much.
No, man. Anthem had fans until they decided to give up on it too. So that means nothing.
This game is doing decent supposedly. So yeah, but
it had a rough start, I remember. But if it's picking up steam, I guess good for them.
I think it's picking up slight steam. That's from all I'm seeing. Like, Peter still like per se, like Anthem, it still has fans lingering around. With the recent DLCs, I don't know if it's gotten more fan pickup, like with the Operation Hawkeye story, but if it brings more people in, then good for them, and it shows that they're obviously trying to do better and develop more for this game, and do what they can.
I can see they've got the Red Room takeover, obviously tying into Black Widow. It is hilarious to me that not only did that was the wrong game, sorry. That DLC, that extended content has had to been pushed back a full year.
Damn. Well,
hilarious.
I mean, things happened on Marvel side too, and with partying in the pandemic. But hey, stuff happens. And we're getting updates.
Right, it is what it is.
It is what it is. But that is that for that news. There's one more piece of news that I have in the entertainment news, which is Bobby. So King of the Hill is supposedly getting a revival.
Oh man.
Huh?
I'm not even joking to you. This is still in talks, but King of the Hill is in like many other series that we've heard from. It's getting a revival, or per se like other things that have been getting reboots or comebacks and all that stuff. But basically what happened was that there was I believe a Reddit AMA session, so like basic discussion going on with the original writers. And they're obviously in hot negotiations to talk with like the people to see what can happen. A quote from, I believe, Mike Judge or Brent Forrester, the writer. The quote was, "I am sure Greg Daniels and Mike Judge will remember me for sharing, but hell yes," Forrester writes, "they're in hot negotiations to bring back King of the Hill. The Trump administration made it suddenly very relevant again. The characters have all aged 15 years. The project is so good." Okay, I've said too much. End quote. So basically, there's, I guess, enough hype for it to come back to a degree-ish.
Well, here's the thing, right? That was a Fox property, most notably being on Fox Box with all those other Marvel shows. Disney owns that, and if they want to throw money at that because it's memeable to all hell, I'm in.
I mean, that's the thing. So it's really unclear on whether it's going to go with Fox, or whatever. Like if it's coming to stream on Hulu or Disney Plus, like other the two options. But we kind of basically have to wait and see. But most of the cast, or the surviving cast, is going to be coming back to voice. I think the only two that they mentioned that weren't able to come was going to be the character for Hank's niece Luann and her husband Lucky, which the voice actors originally were Brittany Murphy and Tom Petty, because they have both passed away. Rest in peace.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, this was one of the most interesting pickups of per se revivals or reboots. So it's interesting to see, because I saw the headline too, and I was like, huh? Yeah, literally. Bobby, we're getting a show back. Like,
well, look, Mike Judge constantly gets work, and he writes for a lot of stuff. And they've revived Beavis and Butthead before.
Really?
Yeah, King of the Hill was just down the line, man. It was gonna happen. His stuff seems to be coming back relevant. So here we are.
I mean, he must be doing good work then. So like, you know, let's give you some more money. Sure, I guess so. But yeah, out of news that I've had, crazy, interesting, but that is all I got.
All right, and before we get to the last person with news, we are going to take ourselves a 60-second ad break. If you do not want to see the ad, all you can do is subscribe using Twitch Prime at $5, but Twitch takes the penny. That money will go into helping not only us pay for a Nerd Crusade Disney Plus account so we can continue to watch the dumb shit that Disney likes to throw at us again.
Curse you, the mouse.
And also continuous upgrades to the way this stream plays out and our YouTube channel. We will see you in 60 seconds.
We're done. Whatever.
Our mother lovers ready for a caravan of courage, an Ewok adventure.
Fuck
Better
no.
I'm
be.
scared.
Oh. Fuck no.
What does that mean?
How is it a fucking caravan if it's just two children? What is this?
Are they gonna hide them in different parts of a caravan?
You have to
I don't
see
know.
it for yourself, man. The whole thing looks fucking terrible.
It's an Ewok adventure.
You know, Ewoks don't speak English.
You know what that means.
You know what that means, right? It's a lot of yub yub jub jub.
Soft.
5.
They're less fun noises than Wookiee noises.
Yeah, right.
All right, and welcome back from the ad break. Table, I believe the next.
All right. Yeah, it is my news. So, I believe we're going to start off with the Wheel of Time news, which is the books.
Yep.
So, if you're not familiar, the Wheel of Time is a high fantasy series that contains anywhere from 14 to 17 books, depending on how you count, because actually it could also technically be 11 to 14 because the author died before completing the series. And as a result, there was a, quote, co-author for the last 3 books who I guess worked with manuscripts, previous discussions about where the series was going to finish it off. You know, up for discussion. But it has, without a doubt, left its mark on the fantasy genre in general, in part because one of the gimmicks of its world is that the one power, the magic dynamic that they have going on, can only, I'm going to say safely, but safely isn't the correct word here, but can only be safely wielded by women. Otherwise, you go crazy and die.
Oh.
It's a fun starting point. It also has its secondary gimmick of the titular Wheel of Time, where, yeah, everything is kind of set in high fantasy land, but the whole point is time is a cycle there, and it resets and resets. So you go through the fantasy era, you get to almost like modern era technology, and then there's an apocalypse, and you end up back Stone Age, and around you go. But where those apocalypses arise aren't always certain. And so the series focuses on, oh shit, superpowers, because people have developed magical sort of abilities in a small village, while there's an encroaching apocalypse type thing. And this book series is getting taken to TV. Now, it hasn't got a premiere date yet, but it will be on Amazon Prime, theoretically speaking, and they've started on their casting. The first person that we know is cast is, I can never say her name right, and it's not even a hard one, Rosamund Pike.
Correct.
You know, she was in
Sure.
Gone Girl. She was the titular girl
Yeah.
who got gone.
Yeah.
Damn.
Great actress. There's also Joshua Stradowski, Madeline Madden, and Marcus Rutherford, who are all playing what I assume are big name characters. It's kind of hard to tell, fantasy names. I'm curious. I'm definitely curious, because one of the things that has been said about this whole situation is that Bezos is a dragon in every sense, right? The motherfucker wants some of everything. And
Right.
he has stated that he wants his own version of Game of Thrones. And so some people believe that this is him trying to get that done. Though that adaptation to Burn in Hell. So
Hey, Table, your mic cut out. You need to repeat the last sentence there, friend.
Oh no. Oh no, can you guys
We can hear you. It's just cutting out. That's all.
pardon?
There you are.
Oh god. Guys.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Don't not to worry. Keep chatting away.
Yeah. Do your thing.
Sorry, I just couldn't hear anything and the stream crashed for me. Anyway. I think that this could be fun. I also think this could end up very poorly. On the one hand, you're like, hell yeah, all female magic users by default. On the other hand, there's been a lot of weird female representation lately that I'm not actually a big fan of. So we will see. But I will be keeping an eye on it, and I have been missing some good old fantasy things to watch, so I guess Amazon will get my money this time.
I'll give it a little bit of faith. Most of their shows have been pretty good so far, so you never know.
Yeah. And on a very, very different end of the spectrum, in not so great news.
Oh.
Yaphet Kotto has recently passed away. It was announced this week by Tessie Sinahan, his wife, that he died at the age of 81. He is not the biggest name out there, but he's been a consistent actor, and he's turned up in stuff on and off. He was a Bond villain in Live and Let Die. He played 7 seasons on a Homicide: Life on the Street and its follow-up movie. And of course, he was nominated for an Emmy for his role in Raid on Entebbe. And
Yeah.
the big one, of course, for me personally, is he played Dennis Parker in Alien.
Yeah.
That
Sorry,
is
before
the best
before you
picture
continue,
of him on that screen. Yes.
the one film you mentioned was Road for what?
Raid on Entebbe.
If I'm
Entebbe. If I'm
I
saying that wrong, I'm very sorry.
no, I think that's actually like I think that could be a film based on Uganda, which is my background heritage. Hey, yo.
Oh.
But yeah, no, it's just like I was like, ooh, this sounds interesting.
Yeah,
So,
man.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
haven't seen that, but if he was nominated for an Emmy, and it's got to be worth seeing.
yeah,
He's a, he's a solid actor, man. So you know, if you got him, he's either stealing the show or he adds to it. So enjoy it.
Okay. Yeah, that's something I'm gonna look into.
Yeah, because I've seen his Live and Let Die role, and I've watched Alien more times than I can count off the cuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, he does fall victim to the Black people aren't allowed to survive a horror movie trope, but
Yeah.
Damn.
apparently he knew that before he opened the script, so at least he knew what he was getting into.
That's right.
Well,
And
rip
yeah,
in
he
peace.
really killed it.
Right.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, man.
Thank you. Thanks for all the hard work. And then that takes us to the final part of our show.
What's this?
So, if you are unfamiliar, every week, Red and I take a look at a book that has been released, and we give you a quick walkthrough. This week, we managed to pick a challenge for no reason other than I assume I'm an idiot.
Not this. Okay.
What was released was Superman Red and Blue. This is a compilation. I can't remember the word. I'm so sorry. But it's
Anthology
several
series.
short. Thank you. Red got my back. It is an anthology of several short stories. Some of them only like 5 or 6 pages long, which is a relief because even still, this is a 42-page. Wait, is it 42 or 46? I can count. 46-page comic. It's got a lot going on, but every single one of these stories is good and worth your time, and they all do really interesting stuff with their art. There's one story called Human Colors in this, in which this weird entity has stolen all of the colors and put it in a little, and was like, okay, I did it because I thought it'd be funny, but I think I might have actually made things worse for you guys. All the colors are in this little box. You hold on to this, and if you want to let them go for it. And Superman has to go like, oh, will this change people? Will this like alter our behavior? Because everyone's in black and white, so they're all very flat, very monochrome. And he's worried that even if bringing color adds joy, it might also, add violence. It might add fear or terror, where no one can argue in a traffic jam if there are no fucking traffic lights. But at the same time, who cares about watching a sunset if it's just going to be black, white, and a few shades of gray?
I'm muted. Nothing else.
Yeah. And that one's really not the most... It's the most creative. No. It's a really interesting concept visually, but I did miss colors while reading it.
It's
Maybe
currently
that's
on
the intent.
It's currently on screen.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the intent, right?
Yeah. And you're like, okay, please color, please. Superman, please. There's also a book or a story, The School of Hard Knock Knock Jokes, which it talks about a young Cal, a little Clark Kent going to school, and he makes friends and he does things right, and he's really, really happy about it. And then he sees someone who's alone on the playground who no one wants to talk to or hang out to for some reason. And he goes, okay, but like, should I jeopardize my friendships that I worked hard for for somebody else. And his parents are like, well, if you look at a problem and don't think I can fix that, you can't assume anyone else is ever going to do that. And then the problem will just stay. So he steps up and he makes friends with this other little kid. And yeah, other people are like, now it's time to play. Now, that one is actually kind of my least favorite. Mostly because I'm not a big fan of how the kids look. Just, it's a watercolor art style thing that's not really me. And also, kids' character voices can be really hard to get right on the nose. And while I don't think this story doesn't do a good job, I was a little bit like, I was thinking the whole time, do kindergartners talk like that? And I couldn't really decide. And it personally distracted me, but that doesn't mean it's bad. Because it's a great example of Superman being Superman long before he put on tights and a cape.
Which is my favorite version of Superman, by the way.
So much more than the underwear and the S.
Oh. Well, the Snyder Cut's going to get you in the heart then. There, Red.
Damn it. I don't want to feel feelings, and then there's feelings.
What I will say is probably my favorite story here is The Boy Who Saved Superman. So this one walks us through an incident where, you know, Superman took a nasty hit in a fight. He passed out in an alley, and some kid found him in that alley and was like, well, we got to get him back to the fight. So this kid pulls him into a building, and the building starts to collapse. And he managed to convince some people to start helping him initially, but once the building starts going down, they're gone. This kid carries Superman, the Man of Steel, up 14 flights of stairs by himself. And then, when he finds out that the door at the top is locked, he uses Superman as a battering ram to knock the damn thing down.
Modern problems require modern solutions.
Bet.
They sure fuck.
Jesus.
Here it is on
And
screen.
then, yes. This one also has a very striking art style. Really emotive. Now, this kid gets him up there and is like, cool. He's still passed the fuck out though. And shit starts to collapse. And as you can see in the panel on screen, he gets his hand pinned beneath a collapsed tower or something. And he says he's not gonna die here while the strongest man in the world takes a goddamn nap. So he yells at Superman to wake up. And then he does. And Superman is, you know, justifiably kind of horrified at this kid's hand being stuck under this thing. So he gets him out, but his hand's done. Like, that's just no more. And he offers to take him to a hospital or something. And this kid tells him to get back to the fight and save lives. So he charges up this weird little device thing that he has, and he goes off and he kills the monster. And by the time he comes back, the kid is gone. And all he can do is hope that he got help. But years later, who turns up at the Daily Planet for a job interview but the very same kid who saved his life? Now, Superman did get his name. So he's actually been keeping track of him. And this kid has done some incredible things. He got a master's in political philosophy. He went abroad to do charity work, I believe, and he managed to get a Star Labs hand. So he must have qualified for that. And he's like, oh, I followed he was a photographer in the Peace Corps. And Clark goes, oh, I'm a big fan of your work. I put in a good word for you with the boss or whatever. And the kid's like, actually, I already got the job, but thanks. And that's a wonderful bit of heroism where, yeah, Superman is cool, but he's a person who's had his life saved by some kid refusing to give up. And that kid refused to give up so hard, he went and had a successful career.
Yeah.
The other two stories in this anthology, one that's untitled and is the very first one in the book, and one called The Measure of Hope. I found they were a really interesting place to start the book because they're kind of brutal. Not cruel, but they're harsh. The Measure of Hope is Superman ends up showing up late to a funeral service because this boy had sent him 63 letters over the years. But Superman gets a lot of mail, and he checks it when he can, and he reads it all, but that takes time, and he's busy. So by the time he got any of these letters, it was a little bit late. This boy at the time and young man now, his mother died of drug abuse which was a problem she had through his entire childhood, a problem that she had tried to hide from him initially. And when she couldn't anymore, she made him promise to never get involved with it, promise to live a good, better life than she had. And one day, the kind of thing that happens in our system when someone's that kind of addict, it happened. And the picture on the memorial pamphlet thing you can see on screen now was in her purse because she had made it just far enough to die in a church. And her son says that she wanted to be buried among the stars, and it's okay if Superman takes her ashes, wherever, because he already knows his mom's with him. So that one was deeply emotional, especially because Clark very clearly feels responsible for what an incredibly human problem. I mean, what's Superman supposed to do about your mom being addicted to heroin?
Yeah.
Nothing. And he should know that. But a kid asked him for help, and he didn't help. So he feels guilty anyway.
It's stories like this one that really drive home, like, the man and the Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last one, I'm not going to get too far into it because I actually cried reading that.
Oh.
But essentially, Superman hears about a concentration death camp in an Eastern Bloc country that's under Soviet rule, and he goes to intervene. But they've managed to create a diffused sort of kryptonite that renders him just powerless, just a man. And, instead of shooting him point blank or anything, they put him in that camp where he spends 8 months. And this story is a retrospective as Clark Kent comes to this country to interview a man who has become a very wealthy business person post fall of the Soviet Union, despite the fact that he used to run that death camp.
Yeah.
And it's about his personal catharsis with that, with, that kind of vulnerability and that kind of humiliation and suffering. And the fact that a international council decided that this man had suffered enough because he'd spent the last few months before the fall of the Soviet Union in his own camp. And now the only crime he's committing is capitalism. And at the same time, he's still going to publish that story about this man exploiting his workers. He's still going to step out and do what he can as Superman to intervene on behalf of the people because, sometimes you're vulnerable, sometimes you're hurt, sometimes you lose, and sometimes you can't get over that easily. But that doesn't mean you stop trying or you stop helping. The biggest thing for me reading this anthology series, now I make, no illusions about my preferences for comic stories. And a lot of Superman stories don't really hit me the right way just because I feel people focus on the wrong kinds of things. Every single story here focused on a slightly different and equally important aspect of Superman and Clark Kent. This was a character analysis and a character study and really a love letter to everything that makes Superman what he is, all in one. I cannot recommend this highly enough. Absolutely phenomenal, and it's worth the time it takes to read all 46 pages.
And I believe this is a $7 book, so it's $6.99. Do you get $7 out of this book?
Absolutely. You get, like, it's 6 stories. That's a little over $1 a story. Totally reasonable.
110% worth it. This is not the first time Marvel or DC has done these sort of red, white, and blue and things like that. Most notably, Wolverine got a series called Red, White, and Blood.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Harley
He's
Quinn
Canadian, though.
It's true.
That's correct.
Harley Quinn got a series. It was Red and Black. And Batman got Batman Black and White.
That's funny, because during the Black and White story, Human Colors, there's actually a joke where Superman asks Batman what he thinks, and Batman's like, I don't know, sounds like it might make things complicated. And Lois Lane points out later, yeah, well, Batman's always been kind of black and white.
There you go. In a sort of brand new segment I'd like to introduce to this part of the show, because we only read one book and we just don't have the time to read another book in our allotted time for our show, I want to come in with some recommendations for the week. Along with Superman Red and Blue, because not only has Table made me want to read the series, because this is not just a single issue, this is a 3 or 4 issue miniseries. And I hope they're all like this. But also, we have the new run from Brian Michael Bendis on his Realm of Justice League. Throughout the last week and a half, Brian Michael Bendis has been taking to Instagram and Twitter and showing off a lot of things that have to do with the JLA.
Mm-hmm.
So his run is going to be heavy handed into the JLA. Dope. I'm in for at least 3 issues. I'm not the biggest Brian Michael Bendis guy. You know, some of the properties he likes to get his grubby fingers over don't do the thing they're supposed to. But that's just my
Sometimes
opinion.
you should put those back.
Yeah. Sometimes they need to go back in the toy box, Mr. Bendis, but whatever. And finally, the last series I want to introduce to people is Nightwing number 79. Now, the issue number's a little off-putting, because why would I be telling you to pick up that? It's actually Tom Taylor's start of his Nightwing run. Tom Taylor, famous for doing Deceased and a little series, I don't know if you've heard of it, Beastie, called Injustice.
I've heard of both, but yes.
I'm glad you have. And this, from the reviews that I have heard and read, this series is the best take on Nightwing in the last 5 or so years.
Really now.
With issue 1 alone.
That's really good to hear, because Nightwing's had some rough presentations lately. I still haven't forgiven them for Rick.
Oh, the cab driver?
Oh shit.
And they drop that. As in, they discuss that, because they go over in the first couple of pages exactly what Nightwing's life has been like for the last handful of years.
That's funny.
And why it needed to happen to process a character arc. I'm like, okay, Tom, you got me, but you only get me for 1 more issue.
Dog.
With that in mind, it is my unfortunate place to say that is the end of our show this evening. If you like what you heard and you want to hear us talking more, we released a WandaVision episode on our YouTube channel. If you want to interact with us on our socials, because that's where you like to hang out, you can find us on Twitter at Crusade Nerd. You can find us on Instagram at Nerd Crusade. You can find our sister show, the Nerd Crusade podcast, wherever you find your podcasts. And if you rate our show 5 stars, we will read your review right here at the end of our show. With that in mind, we'd like to thank everybody for coming by, and we will chat with you next week.
Have a great night, everybody.
Good night.
Peace.